Hello, my friends. How are ya? Hiker Dave, N.E. Bigfoot here. I wanted to talk about the YouTube channel Sasquatch Ontario. I'm not going to ask if you guys have ever heard of it because I'm pretty sure if you're watching this right now, you've already know about this channel and about the happenings that goes on with this gentleman named Mike Peterson. So this subject is way out there. It's out on a limb for me. But it really goes along the lines of what I preach often about being open-minded. And this gentleman has almost 50,000 subscribers. And I don't know why that makes any difference. I just wanted to say that there are a lot of people out there that subscribe to this guy and also subscribe to what he's talking about and the things and the experiences that he has. So, again, this is really out of left field for me, but I just feel it should be talked about a little bit. This is something I won't revisit anytime soon. It's just something that I want to talk about at the moment. So I want to specifically talk about a certain video that I just watched. He just came out recently with it. Again, I know that a lot of you guys, I'm sure, know all about this guy's channel, and I find some of it, most of it, absolutely fascinating. This is really interesting stuff. But he came out with a video called Exposing the Myth. I suggest go check it out, and rather than me talk about it, you should watch it. But I'd rather have you watch my channel than his, to be honest with you. So this guy's been researching for 11 years. He's been doing his thing, and he's got some really interesting stuff. I've often questioned to myself why I find one track, one Bigfoot print. I found on 2 occasions, one just solo track all by itself out in the snow, and wondered how in the heck is there not a track that I can follow and why it's just one print, just all by itself. And he does talk about, this is a lot of quotes I'm going to say here, that Sasquatch is, quote, a terrestrial being, an ancient human with an extraterrestrial origin. It is connected with UFOs. The government controls the flow of information, and there is definitely a cover-up. They are interdimensional and can move through walls. So he talks about Bigfoot. He comes into his house, and things happen in his home. He talked once about a marble that materialized out of nowhere as he was sitting in his home, and it dropped into his drink and out of nowhere and just fell right into his drink. They manipulate his camera. They make drawings on a notepad that he has in his home that he leaves out. This is a quote. They have paranormal abilities. And he says, you guys can keep chasing apes. This is what he strongly believes, that Bigfoot is paranormal. It's not apes out in the forest running around. Now, you know, I preach being open-minded. So I'm open-minded to all of this. I really don't think that any of us can have an informed opinion without researching all different angles. I mean, I've said this early on in my channel, like about Dogman and stuff like that. And if you're not open-minded and you're just closed-minded to one, tunnel vision on one certain thing, I think that you might be missing something that you could learn. So let me just go through a couple more things that I wrote down. He's had multiple interactions with these interdimensional beings. They have imposed photos on his camera. He says, quote, they have a knowledge of energy at a quantum level. He's captured EVPs. Again, they have visited his home, and he's moved several times, and they show up each time he moves. He's had physical contact many times, mind speak. They show humor. He's had pats on the head. He's had one cover his mouth. He claims that they're invisible. He had one he thinks covered his mouth with its hand, or he's not sure, but he had one at one point cover his face. Quote, "It is a much bigger reality going on around us. They choose who they interact with, and they told him, soon your people will know. They are beginning, quote, they are beginning to expose their existence to the human race." So another very interesting video. Now, I've seen all these videos. I've seen just about every video on his channel. He has a ton of videos, and he also speaks about that him and his partner, I don't remember his name. I wrote it down somewhere in my notes, and it's lost in my notes, that they've both had multiple interactions with Sasquatch. Let's see. So, you know, my point with this video is, if you haven't yet, and I know I'm going to be like, hey, Dave, what did you just discover this channel? No, I didn't. I've been watching his stuff for a long time. And I know, I completely understand that in order to enlighten people to the subject, we don't talk about this. To talk to somebody like Big Brother Bob, my brother, I'm not going to talk about interdimensions. I'm not going to talk about UFOs. I'm not going to talk about certain things. It's like baby step into this. You know, it's not something that I think Kerry Arnold as well talked about this, where let's keep this, you know, let's not give too much information all at once to people that just want to know a little bit about the subject and that are on the outside kind of looking in. And where if you start talking about interdimensional portals and UFOs and all of this stuff, that you will scare off a lot of people that just are like, well, I see where this is going. Boop, on to the next video, and that's it. But I think that I'm beyond that point right now on my channel, where I think most of you that watch my channel are open-minded. Now, I'm not saying that that I latch on to this interdimensional, invisible Bigfoot thing, and I'm not saying I don't. All I'm saying is to being open-minded is the key to all of this, and that we're taught from, you know, right through school and by society in general. There's no aliens, there's no Bigfoot, there's no Loch Ness Monster, there's no Chupacabra, there's no, I mean, the list goes on and on. And I find it important that if you don't take in all information, right, and you just kind of stick to one type of thing, that tunnel vision really will, it will keep you in a box. If you don't look outside the box, whether you believe it or not is a whole different thing. Now, at first glance, 3 years ago or 4 years ago when I first got into this, UFOs, are you kidding me? Portals? No way, dude. Nope. I wouldn't even let my mind go there. But since getting into this subject, I have learned to be more open-minded on stuff like this, like mind speak. And, excuse me, I'm still trying to get over something. Christopher Noel had that same, which I love his channel. I subscribe to Impossible Visits. Had at one point had said the same thing. He would not believe something like that until it happened to him, and that he had an experience with it, right? And that opens your mind a little bit to that. So this kind of goes back for me. The reason for making this video is finding one track, to find one footprint in the mud or the snow. Both, I'm talking about both. I found one track down the road from me in New Hampshire in the mud that was obviously a human-looking foot in the mud, but nothing before it and nothing after it. And there's got to be an explanation for that. I can't imagine how one footprint would be seen in the snow or wherever. It doesn't matter the weather. To find one print really has got to make you wonder. Also, on my recent hike through the Jack Pine Forest there that I made that wicked long video, there were tree breaks and such that were so fresh that some of it looked brand new. And I was questioning, why can't I find a print? Why can't I find where they're traveling? And I get it. This whole thing could be just they're not around and they're so intelligent, which I believe completely, that they're not going to go traipsing through the snow so I can follow their footprints. It just doesn't make sense to me that they've gone this long, this far along, that I'm so sorry, that they would be so stupid as to leave a 10-mile track where I could just track it like a mountain man and follow them right to where they sleep. And I just that would be something that would have been done many, many years ago, and we would be beyond this point, and it wouldn't be such a mystery. It feels to me something else is going on. And so, again, I don't want to get out of bounds here with you guys, but I do really, I have faith in things. We'll put it that way. I'm a faithful person. I don't need to, see something to believe in it. And the whole believe as versus knowing. I can know something without seeing it. I can feel something without seeing it. And I think we all have that ability to realize what's going on around us without having to actually see it. I made a video before. I can, when you feel like someone's looking at you, you can almost turn and look right at the person that's looking at you just because you felt it. There's something to be said about that. There's something in us that gives us that ability that we just don't hone, right? To hone that something in us. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. My channel will not veer off from what I'm doing right now. I just want to open up and stop being, making it seem like, listen, this is just a hominid that's walking around out in the woods. It's slash human slash whatever. I'm open to all theories. I always have been like that. And I understand with Kerry Arnold and what he's trying to do. Listen, we want to get people on board with what's going on with Bigfoot. So let's not cloud the air or cloud people's perception of what Sasquatch may or may not be. Let's just get it out there that they're real. Let's just do that first. And I am so on board with that. But I think that it's time for me to be able to convey to you guys, I'm much more open-minded than I may say. And so to say that there's interdimensions and stuff like that, why is that so hard to believe? I still can't wrap my mind around that. I can't imagine that. And we're conditioned growing up to believe a certain thing, that ghosts aren't real and spirits aren't real. And then now you're talking about religion and that there's no God. And, I'm not going to go there, my beliefs and stuff. I'm a spiritual person, right? I would hope that there is something keeping an eye on me, right? And that there's maybe a better place than right now today than where we are. But all that aside, don't be so conceited as to think or to dismiss a theory when this gentleman, Mark Peterson, is going through what he's going through. I kind of believe the guy. I really do. And if I'm being fooled and having the wool pulled over my eyes, it's all right. It's all right, man. It's fine. It's nice to have other options, other theories to contemplate. And that's really kind of all I'm saying with this video, is to open your mind and realize that everything's just not so physical, right? Everything's not just so cut and dry and black and white. And it's either physically right there in front of you so you can touch it, or it doesn't exist at all. All right, that's all I had to say about that. Thank you very much for coming by and checking out this little short video. I want to say, if you haven't checked out Sasquatch Ontario, to go check it out. I'm pretty confident all of you guys watching my video know exactly all about this channel, but I wanted to convey my open-mindedness to the theory that it is not just so black and white, where it's either physically right there and you can touch it, or maybe there's something else going on. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you so much for clicking. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next one, and we're going to go for another hike. Thank you so much for clicking, guys.